What the heck's going on? All right, that didn't fade out like I thought it was going to. My settings reset every single time. Either way, what is going on? I do have my AC going, so if it is too difficult to hear me, that's totally fine. Just let me know, and we can make that adjustment. So popping on another edition here, Ram Showcase Live. I've definitely lost track of how many we've done, but they are an absolute blast. So pretty pumped to continue doing these puppies and just being able to have conversations with Rams fans directly, which is kind of the fun part, right? So feel free to drop any comments as far as like questions go. Oh, that might not be the right one here. So I'll get a link shared in the comment section if anybody would like to hop on with me and kick it, hang out for a bit, talk about the LA Rams. Oh, let's see here. What did I do here? So I don't know what I've done. So that means we're off to a great start. Let's see here. I don't know why this is not working over here. Cool. All right. I think we're okay. I think we're good. All right. So one thing that actually I mentioned that we had an episode of Rare Showcase that dropped was yesterday. As I was talking about Matthew Stafford and that whole contract stuff that was going on with him, we got the notification that the Rams had signed running back Royce Freeman. So welcome to the squad, Royce. Let's win some ball games. Sweet nickname, pretty standard for somebody named Royce. Obviously, Rolls Royce is going to be the go-to here. The nicknames are hard to come up with sometimes. So for him to just kind of have one just handed right to us, it's kind of refreshing. You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool stuff. As far as what his impact will be, I don't know how much of an impact he'll really have. We didn't really know how much of an impact that Sony Michel would have. And plus, keep in mind, too, that in training camp so far, we've had some extremely positive comments coming about Kyren Williams. So that's one thing to keep an eye on as well. I also realized, by the way, my timing might be terrible here, or it might be awesome. One or the other as far as the Rams actually being part of or doing training camp here soon. Doors are about to open for training camp. So this might bite this live stream entirely, or it could be awesome because it'll give us stuff to talk about as we check out as we dive into the training camp and we see like things on social media. So I guess we actually might have some really awesome things to talk about when it comes to training camp being open to the public today. But ultimately, my timing may not have been perfect, but either way. Oscar, what is going on, dude? Welcome into the stream. Again, anybody is available to or free to hop on the stream with me if there's something that you want to talk about specifically when it comes to the LA Rams. Feel free to drop a comment. Feel free to join the comments. The join link is in the comments wherever you see them. They're over here for me. I don't know where they're at for you. I can't see what you're holding. That'd be super weird, huh? So as far as, let's see here. Let me go over here. So far, pretty quiet in this stream, which is totally fine. Normally we get a little bit more hype by now, but that's okay. This is also pretty, I feel like this is early, but I did do the poll asking when people wanted these streams to be, and early afternoons seem to be the big winner. So that's kind of what I'm going to shoot for. It won't always be the case, of course, as just things happen, life happens, things are going on. So there's a lot of different moving pieces to this puppy, but I do want to make sure that I can get on every Monday, even if that means blowing off my family like I did, what was that, the 10th? So yeah, good stuff. But yeah, we also had the news, the pretty quick news, and we actually haven't heard from Sony specifically, but we actually did get the news that Sony Michel, he retired through McVay. So basically, we just McVay pops in and says, "Hey, I had a conversation with Sony, and he's decided to retire," which is definitely like I don't want to say alarming. I don't know if that's the right word, but it was surprising simply because of how long ago he did sign with the team. So he was not here much longer as far as his return back to the Rams, but definitely hoping all the best for him and whatever he is on to next. Yeah, dude, hard to say. Chris, what is up, dude? Welcome in, dude. Chris, one of the coolest dudes I know. Want to hang out again, man. Definitely want to hang out this season. Hopefully, we make that happen, man. Because I think the struggle right now is getting just it's just money, dude. That's all. That's all. Gotta have money, man. Gotta have money. Vegas has the Rams winning 6.5 games. Or take. I mean, I'll be honest, Oscar. That feels pretty in line. Like it feels like it could very well be the case. I am also a little bit on the side that I think that the Rams will surprise some people this year. But at the same time, I mean, with how many young guys we have, I mean, the Rams surprising people this year is dependent on so many different factors, right? So obviously, we need not only health, which is something that we did not see last year, but we also need a bunch of young guys to step up and perform well this year. And unfortunately, we just don't have that answer yet. That's something we're gonna have to wait to see and watch it unfold. But when you look at the team that the Rams have put together going into the 2023 season, it does feel solid. It does feel good. And I gotta say, I think that a lot of people too, and especially media and maybe even Vegas, I know that there's so many different things that go into the Vegas odds and stuff like that, but when you look at what happened last year, I just don't think it's a reasonable barometer heading into this year, simply because of the injuries that happened last year. Just because we had injuries last year does not mean that that's just something that's going to carry over and the team's going to struggle with again this season. So if the Rams can stay healthy and some young guys can actually show up and perform well, and I'm talking a solid number of young guys, we're going to need Trey Tomlinson and Byron Young and probably Puka Nacua and Steve Avila on the offensive line. Like, we're going to need Kobe Turner. We're going to need these guys to perform well if the Rams are going to hit above that 6.5 that Vegas is having the Rams at. So I think it's absolutely possible. I feel like this team will be closer to that 500 mark, whether that's 8-9 or 9-8. I feel like the Rams will be sitting right in that range because let's be real here. Even if these rookies hit and we're all awesome and we're all healthy and stuff like that, it's the NFL, and there's going to be games that this team wins that they probably should have lost, and games this team loses that they probably should have won. And that's just the way it is, man. It's just the way of the NFL. I mean, look at a couple years back when the Rams lost to the Jets. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those. And I don't want to say Jets isn't just like overall, but like that year specifically, that was a terrible outing. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of stuff that we're going to see again this year, and it could be something as simple as like a rookie making a mistake and missing a play entirely and giving up a touchdown late, or a young guy not catching the football or missing a block or something like that, and just something that in that range is something that, like, we're going to see some things happen this year. But also on the flip side of that, we could see like Puka Nacua make a catch that nobody thought it was possible. You know what I mean? It's something we see for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? Like, we could see Byron Young do that whole Robert Quinn versus Indianapolis Colts move and do the whole sack, strip, scoop, and score. We could see that 5 times this year. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different moving pieces to it. So to say 6.5, I feel like that's a reasonable prediction for the Rams and put them right in that range. But if I'm putting my money on things, I am going to go over there because I do think that this team is better than 6.5 wins. I think if you look at the way that the Rams were able to pull off 5 wins last year, starting 4 different quarterbacks, never having your top 4 wide receivers together, having 12 different offensive line rotations in the first 12 weeks, that's just a mess. And so to be able to pull off 5 wins last year, I thought was actually rather impressive, considering everything that the Rams dealt with. And then you have like the 49ers fans who are like, well, of course we didn't go to the Super Bowl. We can't win with 4 quarterbacks, but the Rams suck. And it's like, well, you don't know what you're talking about now. So there's so many different things that, like I said, that go into all that stuff. And last year, with the injuries, with just the absolute disaster, 5 wins I thought was solid based on what this team dealt with last year. So to say 6.5, as long as this team can stay healthier than last year and some of these rookies can pop and actually show production, then I think that this year is going to be a lot different for the LA Rams. And I think that this will be a fun one for the LA Rams. Bill coming in. What's up, man? 12 days till Rams football. I will be at work when the first game is going on, when that preseason game's happening, but I'll have it on in the studio behind me. It'll just be silent because that's what I have to deal with at work. But hopefully I can find a way to rewatch it when I get home that night. But then the Raiders game will be the same thing. I will be at work when that one's going on. But, of course, the following preseason game against the Broncos, I will just be there. I've already got that day off. So that'll be obviously some good times going on there. So, yeah, 12 days out, man. We are right around the corner. Camp is really heating up right now. We're getting a lot of information coming out of Rams camp, which is obviously really fun. But the stories that we're all hearing is it should – be getting Rams fans excited, if I'm being real. Like, I feel like even last year in training camp, it just kind of felt like there wasn't a lot of stories going on. It felt like pretty straightforward. Like the Rams are in camp. Yeah, he's playing well. Like the rookies weren't really getting a lot of action outside of like Logan Bruss and stuff. And yeah, man, it's, we'd have some corners getting in there, but it's just the thing, man, is like this year just feels so different as far as the preseason and training camp goes. And it's in a good way. This is exciting. Like this is the good stuff right now because we're first of all, the unknown, right? Like we have so many different position groups and players specifically that we just don't know if they're going to be good or not. And so to see splashes in preseason or in training camps like that, like seeing Puka Nacua catch those balls, hearing things from Trey Tomlinson breaking up passes and stuff like that. That's all just exciting stuff. So I'm here for all of this right now. Going into a season with so many unknowns where it feels like the floor and the ceiling of this team and their like the win-loss record is so massive. It feels like that gap is so big. That to me is just exciting. And we go into every single game knowing that we can win, but we need a lot of things to go our way. And that's not impossible. Things can go our way. So I'm really pumped about it. In both Seattle games, the Rams should have won, so they could have won 7. I absolutely agree with that, Bill. That's like there was a few games last year that it felt like the Rams should have been a little bit better in. Like I'll even point to Week 1 against the Bills. It just like right away that game just felt like it was just not going to go our way. But at the same time, like that was just it. Is like seeing this team is like, oh, this isn't what we can do. And it just kind of felt that way the whole year. Is that a lot of the way through just kind of felt like it just wasn't going our way. And you get the injuries starting to stack up. You have those games, like you said, against Seattle, where it's just couple of things go the wrong way, and it happens. But then at the same time, I mean, you look at that Raiders game. Rams are down going into the fourth, and I mean, we're sitting there watching the game. And it's like with, I guess, like pseudo confidence, but also was like kind of pumped about it. It was like the Rams get set up for that 98-yard drive at the end. And we're all like, all right, dude, Baker's got this, dude. Like Baker's obviously going to drive us down 98 yards. And then he does. And it's like, well, I didn't really believe what I was saying, but I stand by it. That's just cool stuff. So you got that too. Like, so yeah, there are games that the Rams should have won last year that they didn't. And games that the Rams probably should have lost last year and they didn't. So that's, it definitely goes both ways, but to win 5 in the mess that was last year, it's hard to be super upset about. It obviously sucks. Worst Super Bowl follow-up performance ever, but it does happen. Who does McVay protect in the preseason besides the big 3? So if I had to guess here, I'm going to say, because I'm assuming that you're going to go ahead and package in Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and Matthew Stafford. I feel like that's what you're saying here. So if we have to look outside of that on guys that we're not going to see in the preseason, I would add in on top of Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, I'm going to go ahead and add in Cam Akers. I don't think that we see him in the preseason. I'm going to go ahead and add in Van Jefferson. I don't think that we see him in the preseason. Rob Havenstein on the offensive line. Every other position, I think, on the offensive line is an open position. So I do think that we'll see a lot of those guys play. But Rob Havenstein likely will be sitting out of there. As far as defense goes, I would guess that probably Kobe Durant is not going to be playing in preseason simply because he figures to have a pretty big role once the season does begin. Jordan Fuller is also a name I wouldn't expect to see in preseason. And also Ernest Jones, who's going to be looking like he's going to be green dotting for the Rams defense. So I would put those names all into that package there. So to kind of recap that, there's Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and Matthew Stafford, who we feel very confident are not going to see any time in the preseason. But then on top of that, I would add in a Cam Akers, probably a Tyler Higbee too. We can go ahead and toss him in there. Rob Havenstein, Ernest Jones, Kobe Durant, who is a questionable one. He may get a little bit of reps in there, but also with the youth in that grouping, I would guess that they probably really want to see those guys. We don't have a whole lot of evaluation to do on Durant right now, so it would make sense to have him not play in these games, and let's get our eyeballs on these other guys in real game situations. We know Durant's going to be a contributor on this defense. And then, like I said, Jordan Fuller, Ernest Jones, who are just two leaders in that defense. So they'll be at the games and everything, but to see them pad up and take the field, I would be pretty surprised to see that happen. So those are kind of the names that I'm looking at right now. We figure to see a lot of rookies, a lot of guys that we probably don't recognize right now. It's such a hard thing when we have this many young guys coming in, and it's not just like getting a new team because like a lot of us, we watch a lot of football, so we know a lot of the different players around the NFL. But when you come in with almost 40 rookies, and myself not being too big into college football, I like college football, but I work Saturdays now, so I miss it mostly. And to see this many young guys come in as rookies, it's very difficult to know who we're watching here. But that's kind of the fun of it too, is we get to kind of have those moments in preseason where if somebody makes a big play, we get to be like, oh crap, who even is that? Like, what number is it? Like, and look them up and then figure out that, like, hey, actually this guy's pretty good at football. That's why he's made it all the way to the NFL. So I'm excited for all that stuff, man. It's going to be fun. But this preseason, definitely unlike anything we've seen under Sean McVay before. This whole season, obviously, unlike anything we've seen under Sean McVay before. So to see this many rookies not only be able to touch the field in preseason and training camp and stuff, but this is also going to be the first year that we see rookies really have a legitimate impact on the team, on the field. It looks like Puka Nacua might be like the best offensive player this team's or best offensive rookie this team's ever seen under Sean McVay. King Henry, number 22. What's going on, man? Hope all's well for me. Dude, everything's great, man. No complaints at all. Let's see here. I saw a list that didn't have SoFi in the top 5 stadiums in the NFL. How do you feel about SoFi compared to the rest of them? That's a great question, man. I'll open with this, is that I think that rankings are pretty useless. It doesn't really do it. 'Cause in my heart, SoFi is the best place on earth. So it's not just in the top 5 stadiums. It's in just the top 5 places that I've ever been. So my rankings are obviously very different from that. I would be really curious to see what parameters they were kind of looking at here. If they're being skewed at all from that national championship game that was played there, because it was rainy in LA that day, and that's just rare. So that's just not a normal thing there. So I would have to know what the other stadiums that they put above SoFi are. And that would kind of maybe tell me a little bit more about their parameters. I've only been to 2, and that's up in Denver and then to SoFi Stadium. So comparatively to those, Denver does not have a bad stadium by any means, but SoFi is absolutely unbelievable. So from that perspective, it's the best NFL stadium that I've ever been to. But other than that, there's obviously different parameters such as history. I've just lied right to you. I've been to Lambeau. We went to Lambeau last year. Lambeau was amazing. Nothing special, nothing fancy about it, but the history there is just unmatched. And I mean, that place was unreal. Like, I absolutely loved it. So if I had to put a tier list of just mine that I've been to, which is only the 3, I just lied to you. It's been the 3. But my number 1 goes to SoFi, then I'm going to Lambeau, then I'm going to Denver. So, and that's kind of weighing different things differently, because Denver has a nicer venue than Lambeau Field, but the history at Lambeau is just unmatched. But SoFi is gorgeous. There's something about that roof and just everything. The way the lighting is in there is just unbelievable. I like that it's not connected, that the canopy over the field is separate, so you get that nice breeze coming through as well. Depending on what level you're sitting at, you get a nice little breeze to your back. So yeah, man, it's SoFi is so unique in the NFL right now, and kind of ruining, I think, a lot of people's perspectives on stadiums. But it all depends on what you want, because I like being out in Green Bay at Lambeau Field because the bleachers, like they tell you, you got 36 inches, man. Make the best of it and don't get in other people's way. I've never seen that before, except for like at a high school game, So that was awesome. It was like lightly snowing. It was December at prime time. It was absolutely flawless. I would probably dislike a September game there if I had to be completely honest, because it's probably all hot and kind of miserable. I'd rather be sitting in the bleachers in the cold than in the heat. But then SoFi, man, like I said, it's just absolutely gorgeous. We had a nice little tailwind at our backs. The first game that I was there, which would have been, what was it that? It was the first game that was open to fans. It was a preseason game against the Chargers. It was one where Bryce Perkins, he hurdled over that dude. We were sitting at the top of the section, the very top row of section 300. So we had a nice breeze right at our back, and it was absolutely perfect. And just the lighting was great. There's so many beer stands that I've never had a big line getting a beer, which is awesome. Korean barbecue, in like the VIP area last time I was out there. That was like the best meal I've ever had. So I don't know. That's a lot of different factors go into it. But I would say whoever made that list probably has different parameters than myself. But again, rankings, they don't really matter to me. It's like people will share with me like a power ranking and be like, what do you think about this? And it's like, well, I don't even know that name of the guy who made this, so I don't care what he thinks. Like, oh yeah, he thinks this team's better than the Rams. That's cool. Like, it doesn't make it real just because somebody ranks it. Doesn't make it a real thing. Just like Madden, how it's like just because this player's rated low in Madden doesn't mean he actually sucks in real life. Like, Madden doesn't know what they're doing. It's not even a good video game, let alone a good football game. So there's a lot of different things, man. I'm lost when it comes to Rams kicker and punter. Can you enlighten me? I mean, what do you want to know, dude? So obviously, I need to like always look it up because obviously when you bring in all new special teams, the entire unit is brand new, right? So it does keep it. It does make it difficult to kind of understand. But Evans at punter, I don't hate that at all, man. I think Evans is going to be a solid punter for the Rams. I think that's kind of fun. That we'll be having rookies kind of everywhere. We'll see what happens at the returner spot. But of course, yeah, Ethan Evans going to be booting the ball here. Where's the kicker here? I always blank on his name. Now I feel bad. Tanner Brown. Tanner Brown. I don't know why I'm saying that like with a twang on it. It feels like a very country name, right? Tanner Brown. That sounds like he's on tour with Garth or something. Garth is like the only country artist I can name off the top of my head, and that's only because of Tom Segura. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. But Tanner Brown, let's see. Oklahoma State. Let's do some research here. So we're going to look up Tanner Brown here. Yeah, and we have look up the roster last. It's young, and it's like I feel like every time I see it, I'm like, I don't recognize his name. That's just the way it is right now, man. Really no info here, just gives us height and weight and stuff. Cool. He's from California, born in '99. Born on one of the last days of the 90s, 28th of December, '99. Okay, so here's a good website. I like this one, draftscout.com. I used to do a lot of research on this website. Research, I mean, depending on what your definition of that is. But I used to use this one a lot when in the early days of Ram Showcase, when I used to do a lot more draft coverage. So Oklahoma State kicker Tanner Brown nailed a 27-yard field goal with a minute 55 remaining in Saturday's Hula Bowl to lift Team Kai over Team Ina 16-13 in the college football all-star game at UCF's FBC Morgan Stadium. More than 100 players from across the country participated in the Hula Bowl, which has been traditionally held at Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii, but took place in Orlando for the second straight year. Honolulu Stadium is getting destroyed, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's getting destroyed, right? So yeah. Either way, I mean, he's a kicker. We'll see if he's got it. He's got it. If he doesn't, we'll just find a new one. That's okay. Hopefully, we don't have the mess between Jeezy and Gay again, where you get like guys like Liram Hajrullahu and Sam Sloman and stuff like that, guys that just aren't getting it done. Hopefully, we avoid that gap again. But Tanner Brown, he either is or isn't that guy. I'm here for it either way. We'll see what happens. But Ethan Evans, I do feel good about that. He'll be kind of a long-term punter for the Rams. What's up, Payo? Payo, I referenced you in my last little blog post on ramshowcase.com. I didn't share it or anything. It's there, though. It does exist under the blog page, ramshowcase.com. Let's see here. In case you were interested, top 5. Okay, yeah, I was interested. Thank you. Let's see. So AT&T for number 1, Lambeau at number 2, Arrowhead at number 3, Lumen at 4, and Allegiant at 5. According to if it's AI list, then I really don't care about it. AI has no parameters. It just kind of lists the most, like, probably going off of attendance percentage, if I had to guess. So yeah, if it's an AI list, then I definitely don't care about it. I care about an AI list less than I care about a list of some dude I've never heard of. Yeah, that's all. AI's never been to one of these stadiums before. Why the hell would I care about what it thinks? Dude, camp is it's underway, and we are having a blast with it. Let's see here. What's your favorite Rams storyline heading into the season? That's a tough question, man. I would say my favorite storyline is just the youth of this team and not knowing what's going to happen. Like we have zero idea what's about to take place on football fields this year for the LA Rams, and that's so cool. But it's obviously we're waiting to see what a lot of these rookies can do, and I think that's kind of it right now. Is like just the unknown. I love the unknown right now going into this season. I love not knowing which rookies are going to hit. If there's going to be like, what if Vincent Gray is like the sickest corner we have? I'm not saying that's real, but it's possible. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, seeing the number of rookies that we have and just kind of gauging off of that and just kind of trying to see who hits and who doesn't. Just the development year that this is, and seeing what happens, man. Like, I don't know. That's a tough question. Rams house in the house. You'll check what out? What are you saying? I don't know. Any special teams player with the same letter on his first and last name automatically? You automatically trust? Like Sam Sloman, dude? What are you talking about, Payo? Any special team player with the same letter on his first and last name, I automatically trust. Dude, what are you talking about, Payo? You can't do this to me, man. Because if you trust Sam Sloman, I don't trust you. Unknown factor feels a lot like 2017. Absolutely it does, but for sure, but to add more extreme because we know a lot of our talent back then. That's true. Yeah, at that time we kind of felt like our team was going to be solid. Like there was a lot of question marks, obviously, about Jared Goff and what he was going to be able to do. But we felt pretty good. Like we knew Todd Gurley was super sick. We knew that Aaron Donald was super sick. We knew we had playmakers on this team. But yeah, going into 2017, that was an exciting one, man. I just remember week 1 against the Colts, and it was like, oh, we're good. It's like we're good this year. This is going to be fun. This is the first time we've been good in a long time. Like you could feel it right away. I think the nail in that coffin was Trumaine Johnson's pick 6 and then LaMarcus Joyner's pick 6, and it was like, oh, we're good. Okay, like it was just a whole different thing, man. It's good stuff. Ramsey's already done. I'm pretty indifferent on this, to be honest. I obviously didn't want him to get hurt, but he's not a Ram. So to see him miss out on the season, that's really unfortunate from a personal standpoint because I like Jalen Ramsey. I've liked I've liked Jalen Ramsey for his entire career. I liked him in Jacksonville, so I was pumped when the Rams got him. He obviously made a lot of plays for the Rams, but with all the stuff that had gone on with this offseason and nothing bad, nothing to make me dislike him or anything, but he's a Dolphin now. And, yeah, it sucks to see, but the Rams season doesn't get impacted by that. So I know it's kind of like a harsh way to look at it, but it is true. As opposed to, yeah, dude, you check yourself. You clearly haven't checked yourself pay up because you're wrecking yourself all over this place. All right. Let's see. Who's your favorite SRAM player in the league? Ooh, in the league still. That's a good question. Let's see. Is it weird if I say Jake McQuaid? Because I liked McQuaid a lot. That's probably weird, though. Dude, that's tough. I mean, because the way I try to explain it is like I'm very much a Rams fan, and I watch the Rams. There's players though on every single team that I like. Every single team has at least one player that I really like, and yes, that does include like the Niners, and well, I guess maybe the Cardinals don't right now. Maybe Simmons, but like the Cardinals don't really have anybody that I'm like I would love if they were a Ram. But Seahawks do, Niners do, Chargers do, all the teams that everybody hates. Like there's at least one player that I'd be pumped if they came over to the Rams. It's not that I hope they do well or that I root for them or anything like that. It's just players that I like. I like their style. I like the way they approach the game, and it'd be cool if they came to the Rams. But as far as former Rams who are still in the league that I really like, I do root for Josh Reynolds. Part of that is because I'm a Texas A&M fan, so I always liked him. Von Miller, I think we can count. I liked him. Again, Texas A&M, and being from and then being in Colorado, I mean, I've watched his career pretty closely. And then when he came to the Rams, obviously that was really cool. So, bye, Payo, by the way. I don't know if you're still here, but later. So I guess I would go with those. I like John Johnson. He's a free agent. Still technically in the NFL, but I really liked him. I like Jared Goff. Not in the NFL anymore. Now in the XFL, Tavon Austin. I loved Tavon Austin, man. I was always like just rooting for him to pop at any given moment. But that's a good question. Because once players leave the Rams, it's kind of like I kind of stopped following them. You know what I mean? Like, and not because I dislike them or anything like that. It's just because I do a Rams show. My life is very Rams centric, so I got to try to just keep it locked in on the Rams. You know. Let's see here. Defense is going to give up a lot of points. You don't know that. You don't know that. That's just a prediction, a reasonable prediction. Let me make that clear. A totally reasonable prediction. But we also don't know that for sure. Some of these rookie corners might be absolutely sick. We might have one of the dopest defenses in the league this year, especially considering our pass rush is all different this year. What if Kobe Turner and Byron Young are helping AD get after the quarterback so much that we just shut everything down? So it's a reasonable prediction to say that we might give up a lot of points this year, but it also is not guaranteed. And I would say that to lock in and say that, yes, this Rams defense is going to be terrible, I think is unfair to these young guys because it is football. Right? Just because they're young football players and they've never played in the NFL before, it doesn't mean it's not football still. And they've played football for probably a while, and some of them are pretty damn good at it. So to say that we're just going to give up a lot of points, I don't think that that's a reasonable prediction. Or it is reasonable, but I don't think it's guaranteed. It's just to say that you're locked in on this defense giving up a lot of points, I think is just ignoring the fact that it might not be true because we don't know. We have so many question marks. This team could be the worst defense the league's ever seen, but it also might be awesome. So who knows, man? Just saying about Ramsey, not a Ram, not a problem. That's kind of how I feel about it. And I know that that's like kind of a jerk way to think of it, but that's the thing. Yeah, like Taylor Rapp. Yeah, big fan. I can root for the Lions and I can root for the Goff and the Lions. It's been a long time. I'm not a Lions fan. I'm pretty indifferent on how they do. If they suck, my life has not changed. If they're awesome, still. Life is pretty straightforward. I don't root for any other team outside of the Rams. If the Rams aren't in the playoffs, I just kind of hope for good games. I hope for exciting things to happen. I don't pick another team and kind of like piggyback on them for the playoff run or anything like that. And I know I'm not saying that you can't do that. I'm not saying that if you do that, you're a bad fan or anything. It's just I'm a Rams fan. That's the only team I really feel comfortable rooting for. I will still, when the playoffs start and the Rams aren't in it, even like this last year, I'm watching all the playoff games, wearing Rams stuff, So there's that. I don't know. Do you think the Rams should go get quarterback Malik Willis if cut or trade for Trey Lance or Zach Wilson as backup for Stafford if Malik isn't cut? No, I think the Rams should go into the season with Matthew Stafford at quarterback 1 with Stetson Bennett being QB 2. If Malik Willis were to come available, I think it makes sense that the Rams would go for him. I don't think it's necessary though. Trey Lance, I don't think is a very good quarterback, so I'd be disappointed if the Rams went after him because I just don't think he's got it. Zach Wilson too, I just don't think he's got it. So I would say either all of those options I don't think are real. I would say I think that the Rams will go in with Stetson Bennett as QB2. Morris is the coach, but that's most of the problem. Yeah, we've talked about this plenty of times, though, man. And I feel like my dispute on this is that he no longer has the superstars to lean on. Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner. He no longer can just like trust that they're going to go make plays. He now has to put people in good position. He's also a very experienced coach who now gives us continuity at the defensive coordinator spot. I think that if the Rams would have changed defensive coordinators this year, then I would be a lot more on your side about this Rams defense being bad. But having continuity with the guys that you already are bringing back, names like obviously Ernest Jones, Jordan Fuller, Aaron Donald, Daniel Hardy, Marquise Copeland, Kobe Durant, Darian Kendrick, and a lot of the guys in the secondary like that, I would say continuity is best there. So that just the rookies are learning a new scheme, not every single player on the defense. So I would say that Morris being back is actually a reason that I have more confidence in this defense, even though I, of course, have been harsh on Raheem Morris. Historically, I've been harsh on Raheem Morris in that soft coverage defense and stuff like that. But also, this is a completely new defense from last year. Personnel-wise. So, again, I'm just not going to lock in that this defense is for sure going to be bad just because Morris is historically run a soft coverage, not with these players, though. And, again, we just don't know what of these players, like what they're going to do out on the field. Like, what if Kobe Turner, Aaron Donald, Ernest Jones, and Byron Young are, like, the sickest pairing in a front seven, and it almost doesn't matter who else is even there because those four are so sick that locking up the front seven there is good to go into the trenches and stuff. So like that's the thing, man, the Rams defense might be terrible this year. You might be absolutely correct. We might give up all of the points. We might be looking at Chargers level of points given up this season, but also maybe not. So I'm not going to sit here on the last day of July and say, yeah, we're terrible. We're going to be bad. Let's let some things unfold first. And then maybe we'll have the conversation of like, yeah, this is not going well. It's going poorly. Raheem Morris is not doing a good job. But also on the flip side of that, man, we might be like, okay, didn't expect to be so sick. So I don't know. It's July. I'm not gonna throw the season away in July. It feels unreasonable to me. Again, if anybody would like to hop in, have conversations, I'm going to go ahead and drop that again in the comments. Anybody's welcome to hop in and join. Gave me a notification of my own comments. I know I commented. Thank you. I want to start getting a different program that I use for these, though. StreamYard's cool, but it's almost too simple. Kind of bums me out. It's not as personalizable as I wished it was, but it's all good. We'll figure that out. Also need to get my driver for my mixer fixed. Probably just have to do an uninstall on that and try again. Probably screwed something up. Classic Joe Bags, doing something too fast, thinking I know exactly what I'm doing. And I ruin it. Let's see here. No questions or anything? Are we just hanging out and watch me chill, drink beers? It's cool. I'll ask a poll question here. I just got to think of one. Okay, well, I'll ask you all a question then. What's the one rookie you're most excited to see? Mine's Trey Tomlinson, but there's so many good names to pick from. I think Trey is going to be awesome. I really do. There's as far as guys that I think will actually legitimately play, like there's a lot of names that kind of come in there, such as Steve, I think is going to play. A lot of people are saying him. That's cool. It's an offensive lineman, so it's like kind of a boring pick, but it also makes total sense, like especially the way the Rams' offensive line looked last year. Obviously, Byron Young figures to get plenty of action. Puka Nacua figures to get action. Trey Tomlinson. I would say that probably a decent rotation of guys like, is it Oshuan Mathis? Is that how you say it? Whatever I saw first when he was drafted said it was pronounced O'Shawn, but I've seen people talking to him pronounce it different. Let's see if the media guide's been updated. We'll see that. So, yeah, saying Byron Young. Want to see what Agent Zero is all about. Yeah, totally reasonable because being at the position that he is, obviously losing Leonard Floyd created a bit of a vacuum there. So let's see if he can fill that role and get after the quarterback. Get stuff done. All right, so pronunciation guide here. We still have Matthew Orzek on it, so I'm guessing this hasn't been updated. Yeah, it doesn't look like this has been updated for a while. That's unfortunate. Still got Case Cookus. It's still got Jeremiah Cologne. Cologne. I said it wrong. I'm literally on the pronunciation guide and said it wrong. It's not a good sign. Let's see. Yep. Unfortunately, that's not updated yet. I'm sure they'll get to it. I'm sure that there's it's probably in someone's job, but it's probably not like the most critical thing to get the pronunciation guide on the Rams.com/media. Like, it's probably not that big of a deal. At least before the season starts. I'm sure that that's when it becomes like an actual thing that they want to get taken care of, because when the media pages are typically for opposing radio teams and such, like to be able to look around and see stuff. Like there's the I guess we don't have any of the game books yet. The game books are one of my go-tos. I use the crap out of the game books. They give you just the best information. They pretty much are filled in. Like they get kind of repetitive closer to the end of the season, especially when you're looking at the Ram stuff. But most teams have their website /media, and you can get like a bunch of cool inside information, things that they don't really talk about that much, or I don't know. There used to be a way to navigate directly to the media page from the Rams.com homepage. They took that away, so the only way to reach it now is if you just type in the Rams.com/media. And it still exists. I'm on it right now and stuff, but they still got like the 2022 media guides. They have the 2023 draft selections and trades page up, or booklet. Just one page, so nothing crazy, I guess. Let's see. It's got all the trades: Jalen Ramsey, Allen Robinson, draft day trade with the Texans, with the Giants, with the Texans again. Bucks and the Bills. So it's got all that information, which is kind of cool. I'm kind of a dork for that stuff, so I like it all. But they also got your transcripts from press conferences. So if you kind of that helps a lot because the Rams do such a bad job of miking everybody up that typically you won't hear the questions that are being asked. Who was it that had a I think it was Brian Regan, the comedian. He was talking about that. It was like it's like they'll mic up the person answering the questions, but never the person asking the questions. So you get that like all of a sudden, just like somebody standing there like 9 next, and then just like I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. So that helps a lot. It's pretty cool to be able to get the transcripts out because, like I said, they do add in the questions here. They typically will have a recorder, so they'll have access to that information. So. Pee Wee Herman's dead. That's crazy, huh? I don't mean to laugh at that, but like, I feel like people forgot what Homeboy was all about. Wasn't cool stuff. I know that. Let's see. Other questions come in. It's cool. We can just talk. We can just chat. We talked about the running back spot. Royce Freeman. Who's pumped? That'll be the trivia question. That'll be Royce Freeman. Who's pumped? Boom. All right. So there's a trivia question now. The question is Royce Freeman. Who's pumped? I am or meh? We have a vote for meh already. Whoever voted meh, please elaborate. You can hop onto the stream or you can just comment. That's fine. I'm pretty meh myself because, well, he hasn't really played well in a while. I liked him in Denver. I thought he was a good player there. But overall, I think he's an NFL running back. I'm sure that if we need him to do some stuff, he could probably pick up some first downs here and there and stuff. But ultimately, I really feel like a Cam Akers and Kyren Williams combo is better anyway. We got 2 votes for meh. I guess maybe the poll question should have been something along the lines of like, who were you most excited for at running back, Sony Michel or Royce Freeman? Because I was more excited for Sony than I am for Royce, but at the same time, I feel like it's pretty low impact stuff that we're dealing with here. So I don't think he's just getting. I just don't think that they're going to get much playing time. Either of them weren't, if that makes any sense. I fully anticipate that Cam Akers will be the number 1 guy, and Kyren Williams will be backing him up. Starting to get whiffs of beef stew. I got the crock pot going, and I'm pumped about it. Pretty domesticated over here. Got the crock pot going. My cat's sitting right next to me. Sitting in this chair right here. Living a very normal life out here. Is anybody going to the Denver game? We'll ask that. I have one person that says that they're excited for Royce Freeman. That's awesome. Love that. But why? Why are you pumped for Royce Freeman? Feel free to add in elaborations. Not a talkative group today, huh? That's cool. I can talk for all of us. All right. So let's see which topic I want to hit here, because obviously this is like a weird calm before the storm era right now. Usually a lot more popular here. I'm a little bit bummed about it, to be honest. I don't know if my timing is off. Training camp's going on right now, so maybe there's some good stuff coming out of camp. My phone hasn't been lighting up here, so I'm guessing not a whole lot going on in camp. Rob Zombie's talking about Pee Wee Herman. That's cool. What am I doing? Oh, we logged into one. All right. Camp was it? I think camp's underway right now. Yeah. Oh well, that's okay. If we only go like an hour today, that's totally fine. We can peace out of here a little early. No worries. Just want to be able to give the forum and give it a chance. You know what I mean? So if anybody wants to hop on, or if there's something you want to talk about regarding the LA Rams, it's obviously okay. My cat's looking at me weird. What's up, bud? He is in a Rams chair. If it makes you feel any better. Let's see. I'll show you. That's Carl. That's Carl. This feels like the stream's dying if that's where we're at. So I hate my apartments. They're annoying me lately. King Henry, you don't want to hop on with me, dude? It's okay. You don't have to. It's definitely not mandatory. But no one's even asking me questions. So who are we watching in preseason here? There's a lot of different names that kind of keep on popping up for myself, and a lot of those names are rookies. In fairness, so again, we kind of talked about who won't play in preseason, and I kind of stand by that list. I think just a lot of the guys that we know are clear-cut starters, and really any position grouping that we are looking for starters, I expect to see people playing. So right tackle at Rob Havenstein, that's going to be him. Every other position feels like it's open right now, including center. Even though Brian Allen is still here, it does feel like that position is open. Coleman Shelton could absolutely take that role. But the bonus of Coleman Shelton is that he is very versatile in the sense that he can also play guard. So he can absolutely play any of the three inside positions, which is really cool. Yo, what's going on? Hey, if you want to hop in, here's the link to join if you want to hop in. No pressure to. You obviously don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to, man, we'll have a conversation. But a lot of those open positions we're going to see people playing. But if they're locked in as a starter, i.e., Ernest Jones, Jordan Fuller, Kobe Durant, Aaron Donald, obviously, but like guys like that if the job's open, I think we'll see them out there. And that kind of brings me to Kobe Turner, where I'm starting to get the feeling that he will be a starter. And so I think that one thing we're looking for in as far as he in preseason, as well as Puka Nacua, is how many reps are they getting in preseason? Because if they're not getting a lot, then I feel like that tells us that they are going to get a good chunk of playing time in the regular season. And Puka Nacua and Byron Young specifically, Byron Young and Kobe Turner, those guys specifically, I feel like they kind of all fit into that same category as if they are not playing a lot in preseason, that tells us that come week one, when the Rams hit the plane to go to Seattle, that they are going to be seeing the field a good chunk of time. Oh, no worries, dude. No worries at all. These obviously are every Monday. Feel free to hop in anytime. You're always welcome for sure. Any of the Rams like YouTube or content creators, you're welcome to hop in whenever. Because that's just cool stuff. If it's another place where you can tell a couple people to follow you as well, that's obviously awesome. we're all here doing the same thing, covering the Rams, and it's awesome. Kobe Turner, man, he's going to be good. He's like kind of creeping up on my list as far as like guys that I'm absolutely jacked for. So I'm excited to see him. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, for anybody watching, definitely go follow Rams House TV. Good stuff. I like his energy too, man. Kobe Turner, he brings a presence, and when you come into training camp and you have guys like Aaron Donald already hyping you up and already talking good about you, I mean that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So, an Aaron Donald, Marquise Copeland, Kobe Turner defensive line, I'm for it. And if a guy like Bobby Brown can finally show up, then you know what? It just give us that depth. You know what I mean? That's all we can hope for now. Bobby Brown, I feel like he's been around long enough, in the way that his trajectory is kind of gone, feels a lot like he's just a depth guy at best. So I don't know how long we can expect to see him stick around, but I like those three as our starters with Copeland, Donald, and Turner. I think that is a good three. And then if I had to pick, based on what we know right now, the last day of July, which obviously is very specific, you know what I mean? But in very like before we actually know real things. But if I'm given my pick for the front seven entirely, I am going Christian Roseboom at linebacker next to Ernest Jones. I'm also going Byron Young, and I'm also going Daniel Hardy. Daniel Hardy came in this training camp looking way more jacked than he has been in a long time. Kind of similar to the Cam Akers of like just coming in looking bigger and stronger and faster and stuff, which is obviously great to see. It looks like last year, for some of these guys who have been around, last year bothered them. Last year annoyed them. And like Aaron Donald talked about that too, is like it is a motivator just to show that last year wasn't who we are. And to know that those guys coming back from last year look at last year as like, we cannot do this again. Like, we cannot let this happen. And then you got a bunch of rookies who are trying to prove themselves, who are trying to just show up and earn paychecks and do an awesome job. It's obviously, I think we have a good storm right now, a good like mixture right now of guys who have been at the top for this team and then saw a really bad year, and a bunch of young guys coming in knowing that there's opportunities to be had. There's plenty of open jobs here. So like Jake said, what did Jake say? 40 rookies. Yeah, there's like what, 37 of them, I think, is it's almost 40 rookies though. I mean, that's a lot of guys fighting for jobs, fighting for positioning, not only to make the 53, but to maybe play. This team has openings right now, and that's just exciting. I'm kind of for it. I don't intake everybody's content. I watch like Locked In or Locked On, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't watch everybody though. There's just too much. I'll be honest. There's too much Rams content out there. I'm like mad about it a little bit. It's like I was covering the Rams when they were in St. Louis for a few years, and I felt like I was the only one. And then it was like the market just saturated. It's cool though. It's cool though to just, you build a community, and that's what's awesome about it. So, but yeah, if we kind of, I don't know, man. Yeah, there's a lot of us. There's so many of us, man. Ram Showcase. I kind of hang my hat on this is season 8 that we were in, which is cool. As far as like Ram Showcase specifically, Ram Showcase has been around for 8 years, but I was covering the Rams for a few years in St. Louis before I started Ram Showcase. The move to LA was like, oh, I need to ride this wave a little bit. I need to, get more out there. And at the time too, I wanted to get more into audio stuff, so I started the podcast. And now I'm like an on-air radio DJ. So I think it worked out. I think my path makes sense I think it who I hate. I mean, I don't hate nobody, man. I have creative disagreements. I have strategical and creative disagreements with people, but I don't hate anybody, man. I hope he's doing well. I hope he's good. I hope he's happy. Hope he continues doing what he's doing. But as far as like a future collab, that's probably not in the cards. I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm just gonna say no right now without having conversations. You know what I mean? What are you trying to stir up here, dude? You trying to create some more Rams drama? We've already got plenty, dude. If you mention uniforms on Twitter, you'll just get unfollowed. You'll just lose followers. All I said was Rams camp starts next week, and the only conversation Rams fans are having is uniforms. And I lost like 9 followers because people were like, stay out of the conversation then. You don't need to like it's like, it's like I just think there's cooler things to talk about right now than like, I don't like our sleeves. Sure. This feels weird. Not at all. That's dude, we need to get like a legitimate little combo here going, man. We can do like a little guest for guest kind of thing. I don't know what they call it. I don't know. Here's a conversation. I didn't realize. I'm realizing right now. I've had this mustache for like a year now. I'm realizing right now that it is very much a culture. It is very much a just like a grouping of people. Um, I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it like. I have a lot of questions about it, but I like that I'm on the inside. That's what I can say. Having a mustache is a very it's a very particular mindset to go into life with. I think Arthur Smith said it best. He said it's a lifestyle choice. It's not for everybody. It's called the Can't Get Laid group. Well, I mean, can confirm that's not true. Um, we got some with Peo soon. Oh, nice, dude. Peo's great, man. Peo's awesome. So that'll be good. Yeah, Stockton Slap though. He's he's just. I don't know why my mustache is making you upset. Matthew Stafford grows one. Does Matthew Stafford have a no freaking way? Don't lie to me, dude. If Matthew Stafford doesn't does Matthew Stafford have a mustache? I mean, I realize that Jeff Fisher is in this group, but let's be real here. Not every group is 100% champions and 100% losers. Not upset at all. Your comments feel otherwise, man. Maybe I'm reading your tone different than it's being intended, but that's dude. It's a lifestyle, man. If you can't handle the business, if you can't handle it, then I'm to tell you, dude. Can't take the heat. Stay out of the kitchen, dude. Please don't say his name. You're right. You're right. That's on me. That's on me. I don't need to bring that evil into this stream, man. Oh, so maybe he grows one in my honor. Dude, that'd be cool. I would be stoked. I've seen a lot more mustaches lately. I feel like they're on a comeback right now, but I feel like since I've had mine for a year, I'll say this, I've had mine so long that I feel like I'm afraid to cut it now. Now it's going to be weird if I don't have it, and I don't want to have that. I don't want to have to. I don't have to show up to work or something, and people be like, "Dude, grow it back." Like I don't. So I think it's just who I am now. I think the long hair and mustache is who I am. At least in the meantime, we'll see what happens, dude. When you're a nighttime radio DJ, this is what you look like. That's just it. I mean, I got like piercings and stuff. Like, yeah, dude, you're jealous because you can't grow one, dude. I mean, there's got to be. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. $500 to shave my head mustache, dude. You better pump those numbers up, bro. $500. $500. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I couldn't use $500 right now. But to change all this, dude, easy money grows back, dude. I have literally not cut my hair in over a year. I hit the anniversary of my haircut a year ago. Like I hit that pretty recently, just a couple days ago. I don't know if I'm ready to restart, dude. 2,000. So we got 2,000 and 1,000. So this is $3,000 to shave my shave my head and my mustache off. 3,000. I don't know if that's worth it or not. I don't know. Let's not pretend like $3,000 is like, because it's like a good chunk of change, right? I don't think anybody's like turning down $3,000. I could absolutely use $3,000 right now, but let's not pretend like that money's just not just going to go straight to bills and all of a sudden I'm at and look like an idiot. Like there's so many different things, man. There's a lot of factors going on. Any luck on finding a new editing team? Josh, I'm glad you asked. The answer is no. Nobody wants to help. But it's fine, man. That's the thing, man. Like, I don't know. That's why Ram Showcases had to change, simply because I'm out of time. I don't have the time to put in what I used to put into it, which is really unfortunate. But I don't know, man. We'll see if I ever get help with it. If not, then, Ram Showcase will just continue to evolve however I need it to evolve. But being in season 8 right now, man, it's I don't know. I'm open to understanding that things might look different if I bring in help, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, unfortunately, no one's reached out. Anybody that I've reached out to, I've gotten no's all around. So unfortunately, no, I don't yet have that help. So I would love that before the season starts. If not, then it's going to be another one of those 5-month grind times where I go to work, I come home, and I do this, and that's okay. That's okay. At least it'll be how I like. At least it'll be done how I like it being done. So I'll take that. 3K is nothing with these inflation rates, dude. I'm telling you, dude. That's a real thing, man. And it is crazy. Nobody like it's. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm surprised. Maybe I'm not. I guess I would have to think about that. But it's one of those things where I don't know. Maybe I should just make a posting about it or something like that. It's just got to be somebody I trust. I've tried to bring in people into Ram Showcase before. I had one guy that was actually going to be a co-host on Ram Showcase, which is something very outside of the normal realm here. But he came on to one show and just as a guest at first, and it was kind of told him, I was like, well, dude, I'd want you to be able to bring this. It's like, because that's the thing too. And like, I feel that a lot of people with like podcasts, like I've got homies who want to start podcasts because I've been doing this for so long. And every time they just want me to write everything. They want me to record everything. They want me to edit and publish and create graphics and all this stuff. And they just want to show up and talk with me for an hour. And it's like, nah, dude, like that's not what this is about. Like if I'm going to have a co-host, you're pulling weight, dude. Like you're coming up with topics, you're coming up with segments, you're doing research, you're providing that, you know what I mean? So that's the hard part, is to find somebody who is willing to come in and help and actually help, not just suckle at the Ram Showcase, not just kind of latch on, dude. So yeah, that's the struggle. People want to show up and just kind of sit and chat for an hour and then go home. I'm not about that, and that's not how we're gonna run it, man. If you're gonna come in and be my co-host, you're pulling half this weight for sure. You are pulling half this weight. Teamwork, make the dream work, dude. Like that's a very real thing. And I've had so many times where I've just turned down people on different things because they want to show up, sit here and talk with me. Well, then they leave, and I'm sitting here editing. I'm sitting here making graphics. I'm sitting here publishing. I'm sharing on socials and stuff like that. No, I'm not going to give myself more work just because you want to have a podcast. You want to tell people you have a podcast. Not about that life, man. No. So and it's the same thing with the editing. And well, that kind of brings me to that. So I'll go back. So like that's what happened there is dude wanted to show up and just talk with me write everything, record everything, publish everything, edit everything, and just to say he's on a podcast, you know. And so when I told him that, he got mad. He got mad and started slandering me all over the place and stuff like that, which is fine. Whatever. Say what you need to about me. If people believe you, then screw them too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if people watch me and know my content anyway, like, then they know that you're probably lying. I would hope so, at least. But either way, not my job to convince anybody. But yeah, and then I actually brought in somebody who was going to be a producer. I met him at one of my jobs, and it was going to help me kind of record stuff and make sure that everything runs real smooth. But unfortunately, the work ethic just wasn't there. I remember waiting to record one day, and I got a text message that said, "Hey, I'm not going to make it. I'm feeling a little lazy today." That was it. That was the moment. I was like, "All right, never mind. Then you're out. Like, don't even bother, bro. You're good, bro. Stay home. You're good. Go be lazy, dude. You're fine." So that's kind of where it's been. Anybody who I've brought in to help me potentially, it's bit me. So I am a little picky. But can you blame me? I mean, I've been bit a lot of times, and I'm not just going to add myself work so that somebody else can say they're part of Ram Showcase. I kind of take a little bit of pride in the fact that I do this thing alone, too. So there's that. Yeah, it'll find me. Josh, I ain't worried about me. NFL experts are disrespecting us so much, basically saying us in Arizona are worst teams in the NFL. Yeah, but that doesn't make it real. Experts can say whatever they want to for content, clicks, all that stuff. It's like the whole Madden thing. Like they make certain people's ratings really low just to stir up a fan base, and it works every year. So I mean, credit to their marketing team and stuff like that. Same thing with these experts and their ratings and stuff like that. If some NFL fan base is not interacting with them very much, they'll drop them in their ratings so that it stirs up that controversy and gets those engagements up. Makes total sense. It's all about engagements and stuff. So I mean, whatever, it happens. Yeah, it's you and Jalen, man. Yeah, 4 years, dude. Yeah, you guys have been on it, dude, for sure, dude. It's awesome to see. I absolutely love it, dude, for sure. But and I love doing Ram Showcase, and I love doing it alone. It doesn't bother me to do it alone, but I am running out of time. That's the thing. And I will say, man, like having boring jobs before helped me because I was like itching to get home and do it. But now that I'm literally on the radio and I'm like talking all day long and coming up with contests and like doing stuff like that there, it is hard to like it just kind of just like drain that creative tank a little bit. And so I get home and I'm not like over the top, like I don't know, itching to talk and stuff, you know, because I was talking too many forums right now. But them geeks talk. Yeah, let them talk, dude. Let them get. This is the best comment I've gotten. Let them geeks talk, dude. Yeah, who cares what they say, right? Like, it's like them saying that we're in the same ballpark as Arizona doesn't make it real. It doesn't like lock it in. They're not like these people aren't like guiding the universe. You know what I mean? Where like if they say that we're as bad as anybody in the NFL, that like all of a sudden we're a top 5 pick for sure, locked in. Like that's not real. So let them talk, man. Let the geeks talk. We can handle ourselves. We Rams content creators are close enough to this team and understand this team enough where, like, realistically, let's be real here. Are we a Super Bowl team this year? Probably not. I would be stunned. I don't think it's impossible, but I would be very surprised if that happened. Are we the worst team in the NFL? Absolutely not. It's absolutely possible, but I'd be stunned if it happened, man. Like, for sure. So, I don't know. I feel like we kind of have a better understanding than some of these people do. And when some of these guys look through our roster and they're like, "Oh, this team," even on my comments here, like Wolfpack was saying that, and he was like, "We're gonna give up so many points." It's like, well, you don't know that. Like, what if like Quentin Lake and Trey Tomlinson and teaming up with Jordan Fuller and DK and Kobe Durant, like what if all of a sudden these guys are like the sickest secondary we've had in years, like better than when we had like Peters to leave and all that. It's like, what if? We don't know. We can shut up a lot of geeks this year, dude. A lot of geeks can be shut up this year from the Rams. And it's dependent. A lot of it's dependent. We need a lot of things to happen. We need to stay healthy. We need to bring we got to stay healthy, and we got to have some rookies pop. Those are two things that have to happen. Those are two things that are not guaranteed, but could absolutely happen. It doesn't make it real. It just sucks to have to endure disrespect after 6. I mean, yeah, but I don't know, man. I will say, I guess to put your mind at ease, or I don't even know, man, because I just don't pay that much attention to that stuff. I don't care about your power rankings. I don't care about like predictions, projections. I don't care about what like Mel Kiper thinks that how well we did in the draft. Like it just because none of it's real, none of it translates over. So I don't know, man. Josh says, wish we would bring back John Johnson. That would be cool. I liked Johnson a lot. And a Fuller Johnson combo is very enticing to me. That'd be really cool. But also, I would say that I'm really excited to see some of these guys play. I'm really excited to see Quentin Lake. I am really excited to see if maybe Jason Taylor, or is it Jason? What the hell? Why am I blanking on dude's name right now? Jason Taylor. Yeah, I was right. All right, Jason Taylor second. I'm excited to see what he can do in preseason because let's not forget, like John Johnson's awesome. Let's be real. John Johnson was awesome with the Rams. That pick against the Saints, one of my all-time plays, dude. That's like one of my all-time moments. It's one of my all-time moments. The whole end of that game, unbelievable. But, I mean, one of these guys might – what if one of these guys is better? What if Jason Taylor's better? So don't believe in us. Let him not believe in us. That's fine. It's fine. I'd rather only win 2-3 games and go 6-8 wins and miss the playoffs. I am not on that same train. I want to win all the games. I want to win as many games as possible. And it's not that I have a preference on like where we win, but I go into every single week hoping we win. Even if it's like week 17 and we're like fighting for draft position or whatever, like I don't care about that at all. I just want to win the game. I like wins. Wins are fun. You play to win the game. So there's that part of it. But I don't have a preference between winning 2 and 3 games or 6 and 8 and missing the playoffs. To me, it's how did it all happen? How did it all unfold? What do we look like for next year? Because if we only win 2 or 3 games, the next year looks like it's not good. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, that means our rookies didn't pop. That means we probably had injury issues. So that gives me less confidence going into the next year. If we win 6 to 8 games, that's more than we won this last year, which means we probably had some rookie standouts. Probably means we had some more health than last year, and that gives me more hope going into 24, which is where the Rams now have a first-round pick and also a lot more cap space. So I'm a little the opposite there of you. I want to see this team improve on the 5 that they had this last season. Rams House TV. My sleeper is Zach Evans. I just don't know how much he plays, honestly. That's the thing with Zach Evans specifically, because I like Zach Evans, but I just don't think he's going to get that much playing time in year 1. I think that I'm more excited for 2024 Zach Evans than I am for 2023 Zach Evans, if that makes any sense. I am really excited for 2023 Kyren Williams, though, because we are getting a lot of praise from him from the coaching staff. So it stands to reason that he should at least get his fair shake this year, whether that's in preseason and or it's a regular season. Bring this one up here. Try to bring these up because I realize that y'all are on like different platforms. So like Josh's comments are not coming up in YouTube, obviously. Still waiting to see what we do with the extra cash we opened up with Cup's restructure. That was to sign the rookies. We don't have a lot of space right now. Let me see if we do have any. I don't think so. I don't think we have a lot right now. The move for dropping the salary of Sony Michel and bringing in Royce Freeman did give a little bit of a shake. But I don't think we're trying to do anything with that money, man. I think that money's been spent. So this says we've got 12, estimated 12 for the top 51. So I would go ahead and guess, though, man, that we're not itching to spend that cash right now. Wouldn't you want a chance at drafting Williams than to win 3 or 4 meaningless games? Absolutely not. No. No. Over the Cap and Spotrac are equally as wrong, Josh. This is the comment I'm responding to right now. Overthecap.com and as well as Spotrac, none of them actually have the real numbers. It's all based on information that they can get. They don't just get sent the contracts and stuff. So, but no, I don't want to. I don't want a chance of drafting Williams because we have a full season to play, and who knows what that will change as far as our mindset. I think that Rams fans are going to be very upset when the Arizona Cardinals draft him number 1 overall this next year. That's my prediction. And I think that the Rams will not even be close to getting into that same range for Caleb Williams. Also, let's not just pretend that Caleb Williams is awesome. And I'm not here to say that he sucks or anything like that. But no player is a guarantee in the NFL. I don't care who you are or what you've done. No player is a guarantee to hit in the NFL. So would I want to see the Rams lose games at a shot for a guy to maybe work out in the NFL? Absolutely not. Because also, let's consider this. What if Matthew Stafford gets hurt this year, Stetson Bennett comes in and plays incredible? What if we're still losing games, but Stetson Bennett looks like he's the next guy? Then do you still want Williams? Probably not, right? What if in this college football season, what if right at the end, closer to the bowl game, something like that, what if Caleb Williams gets a dramatic injury? And we were losing games to try to get him, and now he's not even going to play his rookie year? No thanks. What if Drake May looks like the clear-cut better choice this year and Caleb Williams falls? What if some other quarterback that nobody's talking about right now comes in and is performing so well that they're the clear-cut number 1 overall, and Caleb Williams just looks okay? Caleb Williams, is he going to win another Heisman? Probably not. Let's be real here. Probably not. Voters don't like to give guys 2 Heismans, even if they kind of deserve it. But now you look at last year, and in order for him to pull that off, he's got to improve from last year. He can't do what he did last year and then win the Heisman again. And it doesn't even matter what anybody else does. He's got to improve on what he did last year if he wants to get those votes again. So to lock in on Caleb Williams in July of 2023, I am not doing it. Not doing it. If the Rams happen to be terrible and he happens to be awesome in college this year, then hell yeah, let's go get him. But to say for sure right now in July of 2023 that we should go get Williams and we shouldn't want to win games because Williams is a possibility, I'm just not on board with it. Not on board with it. We get off to a slow start. You corrected yourself there. And we were like 2-9. I think we trade Donald, get 2 first-round picks. I disagree with that as well, man. I think that you sell, and I say this is not a burn. Okay, I try. I say this not trying to talk trash whatsoever. It feels like you take a lot of like the Turf Show Times stuff very real, and I don't say that as a burn. It's easy to get stuck in it, but it does feel like you take a lot of these rumors and reports and stuff like that, and kind of latch to them, and that's fine. Again, I'm not trying to say that that's bad. I'm not trying to talk trash. Not trying to talk trash at all. But a lot of these things that are happening right now, none of them are real. Like a slow start in trading Donald, that was a bold prediction by the Robin of Colin Cowherd. I always forget his name. Is it Jason? Jason McIntyre? That doesn't feel right. I don't know. Either way. The Robin, his little sidekick, Colin Cowherd's sidekick, put out a prediction, a bold prediction list. And one of them were if the Rams get off to a slow start, they'll trade Donald. I don't buy it at all. I don't buy that at all. Even on sale, I'm not buying that, man. So, but yeah, and that's the same thing as like with wanting to draft Williams. Seems like that it's like a very much a media narrative to try to get fans to not abandon the team if they do start slow or they do have a bad year. It's like, well, sunny skies though ahead, and I don't know, man. Because also, I don't think that Stafford's gone after this year. I don't think that this is Stafford's last year. And again, if Stetson Bennett's like if he has to play this year and he's awesome, do we still want Williams? We don't want to end up in a dumb situation like the 49ers where they have a bunch of different guys they're trying to pick from. Because let's say Stafford goes out this year, Stetson Bennett comes in. Let's say he plays well, then Matthew Stafford retires at the end of the year. Let's say the Rams do get a high draft pick, end up with somebody like Caleb Williams. Now we have Stetson Bennett, who in my scenario played well in 1 year, and going against a rookie that you have that's being hyped up a lot. I mean, no matter who you start, you made the wrong decision, because if they have a bad game or even a bad throw, a bad game, a bad drive, a bad throw, you have an entire fan base calling for another guy, and that's never a winning situation. The 49ers are in a bad spot this year because they have Trey Lance and Brock Purdy on their roster. That's a bad start. You're behind the eight ball to start. And the only way that you can wiggle your way around that scenario is if the guy that you do choose to start just crushes it all year long, and you never have those question marks about what about if this guy would have played? Because if Brock Purdy throws a last-minute pick or he gets sacked at the end of the game, they're going to be like, well, we could have used the mobility of Trey Lance in that game. Or if Trey Lance does start and he gets hurt again, or he throws a bad pick at the end, or he just doesn't seem to have that fire, that Brock Purdy kind of seems to bring, then everybody's going to be like, well, but Brock Purdy could have done that. Like, Brock Purdy's got Austin Davis vibes to me, man. I ain't buying that. Predicted we trade Ramsey, and nobody agreed. That's a different scenario entirely. You'll see we will save so much cap space and so many pick stalls on the back end of his career. Let's be real. I still don't see it, man. Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald, two completely different situations. You also have like the evidence of the Les Snead press conference when it came to Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, when he literally said, he's like, well, we have our pillars in Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp. And so it's like, oh, okay, so Ramsey's going to be gone. Like, they tell us things like that, man. So there's no indication from the team in any of the comments being made that Donald might be on his way out. If Donald does end his career somewhere else, I don't think it's this year or next year. I think he's here for now. Let's take a look at his contract, shall we? So Aaron Donald, if the Rams were to trade him, they saved $13.5 million for this year, but if they do trade him this year, they still do eat $28.5 million in dead cap next season, and I don't think that's something that the Rams are going to be wanting to do. I just don't. Let's see. After that, so the next offseason, a pre-June 1 trade still eats the $28.5 million for dead cap, and only saves $5.6 million. So if you give me the choice, would you rather have $5.6 million in cap space in 2024 or Aaron Donald? I'm calling you an idiot to your face. I'm telling you, there are dumb questions. I'm saying it to your face. So, not to you specifically, dude, but like, if somebody were to ask me that, like, what would you rather have, $5.6 million in cap space or Aaron Donald on your roster? I'm making fun of you publicly. Simple as that. Not a fan of drafting a quarterback in the first. Well, I mean, look at the last 25 years. It's not good business being desperate drafting a quarterback. Okay, but like, let's also look at all the best quarterbacks in the NFL. All the top guys. It's very rare that you have like a Tom Brady who's like drafted late and is also like ending like one of the sickest guys. There's a reason these guys are drafted early. It's because quarterbacks are taken very serious now, starting in middle school. People are starting to pick apart defenses in middle school. When I was in high school, we didn't pass the ball ever. Like, if it was like a weird thing to throw the football, I don't even know our quarterback's name. I know 3 of our running backs' names in high school because that was where the action was happening. Today, though, I mean, we knew that Trevor Lawrence was going to be good when he was covered by that QB1 Netflix show years ago when he was in high school. And it was like, oh, this kid's got it. Like, I remember I posted that. I remember posting when I watched that when Trevor Lawrence was in high school. It was the summer before he went to college, and I'm posting things. It was like, man, this Trevor Lawrence kid's gonna be amazing. Now look at him. He's so sick. You take him out of Jacksonville, and he's in the conversation of one of the top 3. If someone offers 2 first picks, I say you got to consider it. I still disagree, dude. And I'm not just trying to be defiant on you. I really am not. This isn't about the mustache comment, I promise. It's because first-round picks are not as valuable, I think, as a lot of people think. And I feel like my value on first-round picks is a lot more in line with what the team feels. And simply put, it's a coin toss. So if you said to me, or I would kind of rebuttal that with like, all right, you get 2 first-round picks, but one of them is a Greg Robinson, and the other is a Tavon Austin. Those are 2 high draft picks. And where are they now? Tavon Austin just signed with the Houston Roughnecks. Greg Robinson, probably napping right now. If I had to get, I don't know where he's at. But no, I'm not with that still, man. No, I would still say no to that. And maybe I'm alone. Maybe I'm the weirdo. Maybe I'm overvaluing Aaron Donald, which is the weirdest sentence that's ever come out of my face. What the hell, man? What do you have me saying over here? That I'm overvaluing Aaron Donald? I don't think so. One of the best defensive players of all time, man. And I get that he's 32 now. I'm 32 as well. I've followed this aging career with Aaron Donald, although he's a lot healthier than me, if I had to guess. I'm sitting here in Colorado talking about the Rams, drinking a beer, and he's at training camp right now. So, but I would say that when you have a player like that who's historically relevant like that, you don't just unload him when you think it's time to just like unload his career, because at this point now it's more than that. It's more than just what can he do on the football field, which is still insane. Let's not pretend like it's not, but also just what he does for your team and his presence, what his presence does for your team. That's more valuable than 2 first-round picks and $5.6 million in cap space next year. That is more valuable in jersey sales and ticket sales of people being like, I want to go see Aaron Donald play before he's done, like stuff like that. That like, I don't think that giving 2 first-round, no, dude, I'm saying no to that. I'm laughing at the GM calls off of that. I'm like, are you kidding me right now, dude? I'm impressed that you thought that, like, the balls, dude. Like, but no, I disagree, dude. I 100% disagree. He's on the back end of his career. A lot of people are. So is Stafford. You know, Kupp probably is getting close now too. Kupp's obviously got some good years in him, but he's had 1 healthy season, and nobody is here saying that we should trade Cooper Kupp. He's had one healthy season. In fairness, that 1 healthy season, we saw what the hell he can do. We saw Cooper Kupp at his peak and what a healthy Cooper Kupp can do with a competent quarterback. Triple Crown Super Bowl MVP season, but that was also only 1. It was only 1. That's so crazy to me that this website says that like there's a potential out on Aaron Donald's contract next year with only $33.5 million in dead cap. Like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Doesn't feel worth it to me. Doesn't feel worth it. So. Reddit, the Winer quarterbacks are all stinking up the place in camp already. Dude, I've been hearing this too. I've actually heard that the Trey Lance specifically. Because I've heard that, I mean, Brock Purdy, he just got cleared to actually participate in things, and I think he's going to be okay to start the season. But it's so funny to me because, like, they're saying Trey Lance, he looks terrible. He's just not doing it. But he looked bad in the games that he played in last year to start the season. So, I mean, yeah, like, it makes sense. He's not going to look good, whatever. But I just don't think he's very good. He's played in, 3 football games in 4 years, and we're still talking about this guy like he's like – I almost have as much NFL experience as he does, like almost. Like, come on now. Like, But Brock Purdy, that's the thing with the 49ers quarterback situation. They start Brock Purdy. Trey Lance is healthy. So you're admitting that you made a mistake moving up to get Trey Lance. So why go into the season with him? That's a bad move, right? And if you start Trey Lance, then you're saying that Brock Purdy, like I should not really say anything about Brock Purdy at that point, but if you're going to start Trey Lance, you might as well move on from Brock Purdy because look at the value you got there. If you can have a Mr. Irrelevant come in his rookie season, help you get to the NFC Championship game, and then get rid of him for what could realistically be like a number 2 or 3, like 2 or 3 round draft pick, you take that. You take that, right? I think I do. If we're talking about trade value and stuff like that, you can turn a Mr. Irrelevant into a NFC Championship appearance and like a 2nd round pick. Give me that today, dude. Like, but at the same time, they are the 49ers, and they make a lot of weird decisions. But I think entering the season with both of them on your roster is already a loss because whoever you pick to start, they have one bad game, one bad drive, one bad throw. That entire fan base is calling for the other guy, and you've already lost. The Niners window closes after this season. I think it's closed now. I think it closed with Jimmy leaving. I really do. And maybe I'm being a jerk here. Maybe I'm being biased towards the Rams or something like that. I don't think that they're not an NFC Championship team, and they played in that game the last 2 seasons. I don't think they get that far this year. So I think they take a step back. I think that's simple. Look at what they're paying for everyone, and they got to give Bosa $35 million, and they don't even have a quarterback being paid a lot yet. That's absolutely right. Their window is extremely snug if it's not already closed, because you're right. With the quarterback situation right now, they're paying. If you can move on from Lance and your quarterback is under a Mr. Irrelevant salary, and you're still not getting it done, you're probably just not there. You're probably just not going to get it. So they're second best in the NFC. That's what the Niners are. They keep on doing it. All right, y'all. I am going to hop out of here. This has been a good time as usual, but I do have some things I need to take care of. Ramshowcase.com. I do have another blog up. It is about the Rams training camp and different players to watch at different position groups. Today is the first day of Clash and Pads, dog. So right now we got the pads on for the first time at camp. So obviously we'll have some good stuff to talk about as the season creeps up on us. I will be doing we are back to weekly podcasts now. The off season is over as far as I'm concerned. The start of training camp is the end of the off season as far as my content creation goes. So we are back weekly podcasts right now. We will continue to do our Ram Showcase Live, our Mondays every week. Yeah. Oh, let's see here. I'm feeling that Dallas will win the NFC this year. You say a lot of things, dude. I don't think so. Dallas feels so average to me. I don't think they win their division, but I also don't feel like Philly wins their division. I'll give you my division winners. I had to pull them up here. I don't need to. I don't need to pull them up. I know what they are. NFC West, I'm giving it to the Rams because maybe I'm biased, but maybe I just have zero faith in Geno Smith and the mess that's going on at quarterback for the Niners. Sue me. Don't. But for the NFC South, I'm going to go ahead and say the Saints take that one, although the Falcons are interesting to me. I will say that much. The NFC North, I think, does go to the Detroit Lions. I think that they are in such a perfect position to just take over that division right now. With Aaron Rodgers leaving, the Vikings, there's something about the Vikings. They feel like a good team, but not a great team. And I think that part of that has to do with Kirk Cousins. There's something about his play that it obviously just can't get over that hump. For the NFC East, like you're saying, you mentioned Dallas winning the NFC this year. I really don't think that Dak is capable of winning the NFC. I don't think he's capable of winning a conference unless he's got a lot of help. And I just don't think that team has that this year. But then for that division specifically, some people might call me crazy. I think that the Giants win that division. I just don't think it's very good. I think that the Eagles do take a step back this year. And I know you're sitting there right now like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. But we also did not expect the Rams to come in after both of our Super Bowls and perform the way they did. So even after the 2018 season, 2019 Rams floating about that 500 range, nobody expected that. We had no reason to really do that. We just didn't play as well. And even last year, just didn't play as well. I feel like something similar is coming to those Philadelphia Eagles. I think that they take a step back. Giants, I just feel like are the best team in that division, so I just feel like they take it. Flipping over to the AFC, to pick against the Chiefs in the AFC West, I think is ignorant right now. It might happen where a team like maybe the coaching change in Denver is a catalyst for something awesome there. Although they just had 2 wide receivers get issues today. Hamler with like a heart condition and he's out. And then Tim Patrick also tore his Achilles, so he's going to miss another full season. He just got back from ACL. You got to feel for Tim Patrick, man. That really is unfortunate. But then you got the Chargers, who they have a strong roster, but we say that every year. It's like, holy crap, is this the Chargers do it? And then they come out and are just a total bummer. So until that changes, we have to kind of consider that that is going to be a real possibility. So I'm picking the Chiefs in the AFC West. If we go over to, let's just do the AFC East. That's a tough division to pick. I feel like a confident pick. A lot of people are going with the Jets. I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. I think the Bills take a step back as well. I think that the Dolphins come in and take that. There's something about the Patriots. I feel like they're okay, but in the AFC, and especially that division specifically, I just don't see it. So let's go AFC North. I am going to give that one to the Colts. I trust that their quarterback situation is a lot better now. Instead of going with these veterans who were just at the very last bit of their career. I feel like the Rams ruined the Colts for a couple of years there because they were like, wait a second, we just go get a veteran and then win it all? Hell yeah. Didn't work out. So I feel like them bringing in Richardson I think is a good thing. Although this stuff with Irsay and Jonathan Taylor, that's a mess. That needs to be figured out. So maybe that does impact that. If they were to not do well, then I do think that the Texans I don't know. Not the Texans. That's not what I mean. Titans, I mean. So I don't know. We'll see there. But also like the Jags, though, this year. Kind of all over the place. I know I bounced around a lot there, but that's kind of my pick. So, but Dallas is not winning the NFC this year. I don't think they're capable. I don't think Mike McCarthy and Dak as a combo is capable of that. But to give you a replacement team, I don't know. All right, y'all. I'm going to bounce on out of here. I'm going to check on my crock pot. It's got my beef stew in it. I'm really excited for that. I know it's got a few more hours, but it definitely needs some of the attention from Joe. So we'll be back to Ram Showcase Live 1 week from today. So join me on Monday, 1st August edition of Ram Showcase Live, and the final one before our first preseason game. So we're creeping into it, and then we'll definitely have plenty of conversations about who to keep your eyes on there. But if you want to take an early look at that, ramshowcase.com under the blogs. You can see it there. Also, the latest edition of the podcast, Ram Showcase, definitely has some good topics as far as the guys who to watch as we enter camp, how that all goes. So thanks, Stockton Slap. Definitely not trying to trash, dude. Thank you so much for hanging out. And feel free to hop on the stream with me sometime if you want to kind of argue your points in person a little bit more, as much as in person as on computer is. It's kind of like a weird paradox that we live in. Welcome to 2023. But again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll be back to it next week right here, same place, Ram Showcase YouTube channel, Ram Showcase Facebook page. And y'all have an awesome rest of your day. Keep your eye on these training camp press conferences, as they do give us a lot of hints as to who's performing well and who might get a lot of playing time once the Rams hit that plane on